After completing the construction of its space station, Tiangong, the Chinese are now ready for life science research in zero gravity. The Chinese news platforms like South China Morning Post reported on Monday that the country is planning to send monkeys to space to test reproduction in zero gravity conditions. It is a fascinating and potentially controversial experiment that could have major implications for the Earth's efforts to colonize space. Can mammals, let alone humans, successfully reproduce beyond the Earth? Populating another planet comes with a lot of challenges. Humans would likely have to wear spacesuits to keep from floating away in the zero-gravity environment and also rely on oxygen cylinders to prevent dying of asphyxiation, which are therefore not the most conducive of conditions for procreating. And even if we did figure out the logistics and succeeded in having intercourse on, say, Mars, we would have no concept of what the consequences of such an exercise could possibly look like. Will the mother be even able to push the baby out? And if she did, would the child look like a normal human baby or something different? But a potentially great way to predict possible outcomes of reproduction in space is experimenting on a space station. Serving as an intermediary base station between Earth and the rest of explorable space, space stations are a great place for scientists to test their hypotheses. In fact, in the past, they have studied a lot of pregnant animals in space, including salamanders, fish, and rats. According to reports, this experiment would take place in the station's largest capsule, called Wenxian, inside 2 biological test cabinets that can be expanded. This is the basis of the idea by which China plans to send monkeys and rats to space to see how the animals reproduce in a zero-gravity environment and whether or not they are naturally able to do so. Some studies, says Zhang Lu, a researcher at the Chinese Academy of Sciences, involving mice and macaques, will be carried out to see how they grow or even reproduce in space. These experiments will help to improve our understanding of an organism's adaptation to microgravity and other space environments. While quite exciting, experts are concerned about a variety of problems that this study poses. For instance, the primates will have to deal with the rocket ride, which could be pretty intimidating and have a negative impact on them. The report also stated that if monkeys are sent to the space station, they will need to feed them and deal with the fecal matter waste. Then, there's also the fact that astronauts will have to keep the macaques happy and comfortable, something that experts say is deemed to be challenging since long-term confinement in Spartan environments of space habitats could definitely cause immense strains for the simians. And even if astronauts are successful in setting the mood for the monkeys, the physics of sex in space are predicted to be challenging. It is worth noting that Soviet researchers had sent rats into space for an 18-day mating experiment earlier. But upon their return to Earth, none of the rodents gave birth, highlighting that larger animals find it harder to conceive in zero gravity. Earlier research has evaluated the reproduction of tiny species in space, including zebrafish and insects. According to the researchers, there are a number of difficulties involved in doing such studies on more complex living forms such as rats and primates. These comparatively bigger animals face various challenges when mating in zero gravity. It remains to be seen if China's ambitious mission will succeed and contribute to improving the understanding of human and animal reproduction in space. With its new space station in nearly full operation, China is definitely not shying away from asking the big questions. But whether these experiments will play out as expected is anything but certain right now. Thank you for making it to the end of this video. If you liked it, do like the video and let us know in the comment section below.